Hey friends, good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are y'all doing? Bear with me, I'm still trying to adjust a few things to get everything in the video or the live here. I came on just about a minute early just to give people time to jump in. I don't know if y'all can see me. I apologize for, yeah, my light's doing crazy things. Y'all are gonna have to bear with me because I still have not invested in a tripod, and I need to do that, especially if I'm gonna try to craft with you all on Facebook. I need to get, I forget about it honestly, and then when it comes time to do a live, I'm like, oh, forgot that tripod. But I have you guys kind of jerry-rigged up, and we're gonna make the best of that. We're gonna give it just a few minutes till people start popping on. If you're on, let me know. Wave at me, say hi. Hey, Miss Jana, I knew you'd be here. We are gonna have some fun today. In fact, I'm so glad I made it here because it's been a crazy day. It's been a crazy few days. So, yeah, as you could tell, I've already been working on some projects this morning, so I have paint everywhere. But I've got a good little setup going on, and while I was gathering supplies and getting everything going for this video, I found a different type of canvas that I want to try at the end. We're gonna see if we don't run out of paint. So we're gonna give it just a few more minutes. We are gonna be doing flow painting today. I know y'all are all super excited about that. First of all, let me just give a disclaimer. I'm not a professional flow painter. I've done something similar years ago with my big kids, but I've never done this. I mean, it was just real simple, like pour painting. And that's, some people call this pour painting, some people, P-O-U-R, pour painting. Some people call it flow painting. There's different names for it. It's been around forever, but someone that's near and dear to me just recently started sharing her little pictures of her doing it, and then I'm like, oh, that would be fun to try. And we talked about it on our last Facebook Live, so here we are. We are going to learn together how to do this. So just remember, I'm not a professional, nor do I claim to be a professional. So give grace, okay? What we'll do to start, first of all, I'll just kind of go over the supplies with you. I did post a list of supplies that you needed. I think a lot of you that are going to be joining us today have already kind of gathered your own supplies. And I did post a list earlier in the week for those of you who want to kind of do it with me. Or if you just want to sit back and watch, hang out with me, ask questions, throw in some tips if you've already done it. We love suggestions. But, you know, and then you could just watch it later and kind of maybe learn what not to do after you watch me. So I'm going to try to stand up here and kind of I'm going to move the camera down so you can kind of see the supplies as we go. You can see the little work area. So y'all bear with me just a sec. If you're jumping on, say hey, let me know if you're here. And y'all let me know when you can see what's happening here. I'm gonna try to do it without messing up the situation I got going on. Okay, I got the canvas in the frame. I don't know if you could see. I put down black trash bags on my table. You always gotta protect your work area, and this, I'm afraid, is gonna be messy. I've already got some paint down. You can probably see that on the trash bag. So I also, on top of the trash bags, just for extra precaution, I got one of these nifty disposable pans. I got it at the local dollar store. Cost me $1. It's handy dandy, and so that'll catch any extra dripping, and it'll just make for easy cleanup in the end too. I told you needed gloves, but I couldn't find mine. Most of the stuff that I am going to show you here, with the exception of the medium and the additives, I got, I mean, I already had on hand. I didn't have to buy it. Can y'all hear me okay? Jana, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. Anyway, most of the stuff I had, I just had to go buy a couple extra things for this particular process. So I got the canvas, and let's talk about canvases for a minute. I've seen people, this is just a basic, it's an 8x10 little canvas to paint on. I got these two for like $3 at Hobby Lobby, just so you know. This is a canvas that you can hang when you're done, or you could use it as the shelf sitter. But I've seen people use the flat little canvases for this. I've seen people use wooden panels, which I'm really excited about since my business is wooden signs. So I think you could pretty much flow paint on anything that'll take paint. You know what I'm saying? So you're not limited, I think, to canvas. Okay, so the pan, the canvas, obviously you're gonna need paint. This is what I had on hand. This is Apple Barrel. This is a 2-ounce little bottle. You can get this stuff at Walmart for like 50 cents, okay? And I have a variety. I have that. I have Folk Art, which is Hobby Lobby. And then I got, and this is probably maybe $1. Hey Lindsay, y'all let me know if y'all can hear me okay. This is a bigger bottle of Anita's. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and it was $3. I think oh yeah, I forgot my Georgia friends are an hour ahead of me. I think my Illinois friends are an hour ahead too, depending on where you're at in Illinois. Anyway, if you're gonna probably flow paint a lot, you may want to invest in the bigger bottles. It depends too on what you're trying to cover. So, but that was only a few dollars, and I've probably used $1/4 of it for today. So those are the paints. I'm doing fall colors just because I'm ready. For fall. I'm ready for fall, pumpkin spice, all that good stuff. I have my first cup of pumpkin spice this morning. I'm gonna try to sit down where y'all can see me. I'm gonna be back and forth. I know you can't see my face, but we can't just get everything in the frame. It's not possible at this moment. All right, the medium. Let's talk about that for a minute. I was like, medium. Oh yay, Illinois is Central Time, thank you. I know when we traveled to Illinois, just a little sidebar, we went up into, we were Central Time, and then we crossed over into Eastern Time at one point, and then it was very confusing because we kept crossing time zones, the route that we took, just FYI. Okay, mediums. A medium, all that's gonna do is thin the paint, and that's to, Lindsay, you're killing me with the pumpkin spice. I love me some pumpkin spice. How many pumpkin spice fans do I have? Okay, medium. Medium is to thin the paint. The recommended medium for this process was Floetrol, and I'm gonna spell that. It's Floetrol. You can get it at Lowe's, you can get it at most hardware stores. However, there are many ways to thin your paint. That's the most common one that people can get their hands on. That's kind of a middle grade medium. You can use, I think, WD-40 WD-40, no, not W, that's silicone. You can use water. Some people have used water. You can use, also go up on the grade of quality grade, and you can get artist quality. It's called, I'm drawing a blank on the name, but there's a particular brand that sells it. But Floetrol is kind of in the middle. It's probably most accessible across the board because you can get it at Lowe's. However, when I went to buy the Floetrol, because I didn't have that, the man at Lowe's said, well, we only sell that by the gallon. And it was pretty affordable. I mean, it was $15, and you know, you only need a little bit. But I didn't think I needed a gallon. So he said, well, I have a different brand. It's the same thing in a smaller jar, smaller container. So I got a quart of this called Zinsser paint booster or paint additive, and it's basically the same thing as Floetrol. It just is a different brand. So if you don't want, and it was probably a quarter of the price. So just FYI, when you go to buy that or go to rebuy it, if you've already got it, that you can get it in a smaller container, just a different brand. And all that's going to do is thin your paint. Now let me add too, on the Floetrol, a lot of the research I did said that you use the ratio 1:1, like in other words 50% of Floetrol and then the same amount of paint. However, when I opened up this Zinsser, it looked a little different. It looks actually like water. And it says on the container, it says 4 capfuls treat 1 gallon of paint. So that ratio obviously changed because I'm using a very small amount of paint today. So you just kind of have to, you know, make sure you read the directions and, you know, just kind of play with it until you get the right consistency. The consistency that you're looking for, and I mixed my paints ahead of time so I could be ready for you guys. You kind of want it to look, mine is probably a little loose. Some of them are probably a little loose than they need to be. You want it to kind of flow like honey. So that's kind of the consistency you're looking for. Okay, so that's the medium to thin your paint. Okay, then to get the really cool cells when you pour the paint, then you need some type of silicone. And you can get silicone also in a variety of different ways. I think it's in, where's my notes? WD-40 has silicone in it. Most people have that in their garage. A few people that I know of, I think Lindsay, you got treadmill oil, but you can find silicone in most hardware stores in like the automotive section, or I got mine in Lowe's. Actually, it was over by the Power Tools, and it's just called 3-in-1 silicone, this little guy. And this is what helps your paint. It's just an additive to kind of make your paint do funky things when you pour it. It gives it, it makes pretty cells. And by cell, I'm not a scientist by any means, but by cell, it's just the circle when you pour the paint. It kind of like when you put oil in water, you know how it just flows out. So that's what silicone does, okay? Trying to break it down for y'all because like I had to break it down for myself because like I said, I am not a scientist and I am for sure not a professional flow painter. Okay, so we got paint, we did our canvas, talked about our medium, the additive. Okay, we talked about covering up our work area. Yeah, I don't have gloves. I told y'all that, so I'm about to get messy. Disposable paint. I use plastic cups. You can use, you know, anything that you're gonna want to, you don't want to do this in something you're gonna keep. And then I didn't have craft sticks. You can use craft sticks. I used these handy dandy little skewers that I happen to have in the cabinet. You could use plastic fork if you want to, or knife or something, just whatever. Let's see, and optional items, optional supplies. This guy right here, I'm most excited about this. Can you see that? fire, okay? How cool is that? I mean, anytime you get to craft and light a fire, I mean, come on. So we're gonna do that today, and I'm gonna try not to burn anything down. Lindsay, you're right, that is the fun part, getting messy, which is why I do not care. I'm like, hey, I stay messy anyway, even if I have gloves on. Let me just tell you, I'm messy. And you know what? My life is messy. I'm just gonna be honest. My life is messy. You can't see, but I'm in yoga pants and my slippers. And I do have my hair sort of fixed. It's totally not in a messy bun. See, let me see. Look, here I am. See, it's not in a messy bun today, so y'all are lucky. But 9 times out of 10, it's messy. But you know what? You're right, Lindsay. That's where all the fun is, in the messiness. Okay, so, okay, optional is your blowtorch. You do not have to have a blowtorch for this process, but it's a blowtorch. I mean, come on. That's the even funner part. I've also seen people use a blow dryer because, you know, obviously you can put it on the warm setting and kind of get the same effect as the blowtorch, and you can move your paint around at the same time. And they just kind of did it in spurts. So I've also seen people use a straw. Hold on. So I'm gonna, y'all don't laugh, but I'm gonna attempt this today while we're on here. So, and I've also seen someone use a colander, which was really cool. They just set the colander on there and just poured all their paint in there, and it just kind of oozed out. That was really a cool effect. But I did not have a colander that I could like discard, or, you know, I didn't have a cheap one. So we're not going to do that today. But I'd be interested if any of you ladies try that, and let me know how that turns out, or post a picture. In fact, if any of you have already done flow painting of any kind, Lindsay said she already used the straw. She didn't have much luck with it. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Hey, Tanya. I don't know. We'll see. But if any of you have done any other techniques, before we get started, y'all post the pictures in the comments so other people can see how cool flow painting is. And it's just a fun thing. I paint signs for a living and different craft projects, but I just thought what fun it would be to learn a different technique that's kind of coming up, being popular again, and just to craft together, because it's crafting with friends is always better and always fun. So if you are not, how many of you are actually going to do this with me today? Is there anybody on that's actually doing it as we go with me? If not, that's totally okay. I was just wondering how many people were brave enough to do this with me. Okay, if you are, comment and let me know. Okay, so we're gonna get started. All right, I'm gonna take my plastic cup here, and I've seen this done actually a couple ways. I'm gonna try to do it in 2 cups, okay? Gianna, I thought for sure you were gonna do it with me, but that's totally cool. Okay, I'm gonna just stir a little bit. I did also add, I mixed ahead of time the, I'm gonna say Floetrol, the Floetrol and the paint, and then I added just about 3 or 4 drops of the silicone in each cup of paint. You don't need a lot. You don't want to put too little, because then you're not going to get as many beautiful cells. And you don't want to put too much, because then when you tilt your canvas, the paint's just going to slide right off. So you don't want that. So probably about 3 or 4 drops is what I used. It depends on, obviously, if you have more paint in your cup, you'll want to use a little more. But be careful if you get, I'm sorry, my husband's texting me and it's popping up on the screen as I'm trying to talk. If you get this bottle like I did, be careful because the little top pops up, and when I tried to squeeze out a drop, like it shot out. So some of these might have more silicone. So just kind of play with that ahead of time. So, all right, so I'm gonna stand up for this. So I saw two different types, two different cups. I'm just gonna pour a little bit to cover the bottom for now, maybe a little bit more. I'm using probably more white just because I had the most of that. So I'm just pouring in my first color in each cup, okay? And I try to save some paint for that special thing that I got there at the end. So that's white. I'm gonna go in with, I'm gonna do orange first. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna pour it in this cup, like just right over the white. Just a little. And then in this one, what they did was they just drizzled it in like lines. And that's just all that's gonna do. And y'all, can I just tell you, I really honestly don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to do this, because it's just all about, first of all, the color combinations are endless. You could do whatever colors you fancy, whatever season you're in. That looks, yeah, that looks like a pumpkin for sure. But you could just go crazy with it. And I really don't think there's, I mean, like I said, the ideas are endless. I think I might have too much oil or too much something in this green, but we're just gonna roll with it because we're already in. Thank y'all for joining me today. It's really, this is one of my favorite things to do. You know, at first I was very nervous to do a Facebook Live, but I just really enjoy getting on here and hanging out with you guys, crafting, talking about crafts, and just, okay, tip, make sure you put your paints off to the side after you use them. So I was like, wait, didn't I already do that green? Okay, I'm gonna do, this is a leafy green. Anyway, I just really enjoy hanging out, and I appreciate the fact that you all take the time to just come on and say hi, check out what we're doing. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a comment, give us ideas. I totally poured that instead of drizzling it because I'm talking, but that's okay. So yeah, give us ideas of what you want to see next in a Facebook Live, if you want us to try a different craft, if there's a saying you maybe want us to paint on a sign. I'm kind of mixing this one as I go because it kind of looks shady. All right. Anyway, we welcome your ideas, your thoughts, your comments. And again, give us a like, a comment, give us a share, help us get out there. Okay, this is, I thought I'd put some gold because you know what? Why not? Not to mention, you can never have enough sparkle. I'm just saying. All right, I'm gonna drizzle that in on there. All right. All right, let me take a sip of lemonade. You always have to have a drink when you're crafting. Okay, I'm gonna pour this one, put this one to the side. Now, one of the cool things that I saw that they did, this is called a dirty flip cup, okay? So we're gonna do a dirty flip. So they took it, okay, are y'all ready? I feel like I should have a drum roll or like a countdown or something. Okay, 3, 2, 1, bam. And they just let that paint kind of go. I'm gonna kind of let it all drip down. We'll see what happens. It's kind of oozing out. It's just kind of, oh, that's really cool. Check it out. I probably should have used more orange. That's kind of cool. All right, what we're gonna do is just pick up our canvas at this point, and you'll see, I'm hoping, can y'all see good? Y'all let me know. But anyway, it's already, you'll see it's already kind of breaking up into some really funky cells in there. You see the little circles. So what we're gonna do now is just play and paint. So we're just gonna kind of ooze it on down that way. And you just wanna get it over the sides. And it's just a gentle process. And you're gonna, it is cool, isn't it, Lynn's? Just kind of, and it's probably, it'll ooze on back. And yeah, just kind of let it flow, hence the name, flow painting. So if you guys haven't flow painted, I mean, what have y'all been working on craft-wise? Or it doesn't have to be a craft. What other house projects, kid projects, anything cool y'all been working on? I'm gonna try to turn this around so y'all can see it while it flows, because it's stinking cool. So that's just kind of going. Oh, I do have also, as part of my supplies, napkins on the table. I might need some help there. I think I probably underestimated the size of my canvas, but that's okay because I did this other cup. All right, bear with me while I clean up my hands there. Okay, this other cup we're gonna take, and we're not totally off there. Let me see if I can just tilt it just a little bit more. I think it's kind of finished dripping right there, but we're just gonna take this one and hopefully it's gonna do a different pattern. And it's just, you'll see how we drizzled that paint in, so it's doing a totally different kind of thing there. I'm just going to kind of let it push that down a little bit. So it kind of just gave it a swirl. All right, let me look at some of the comments real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna, bear with me. I'm gonna tilt you up just a hair. All right. Oh, thanks, Jana. It is really cool, huh? I can't wait to see you all. That's good English. Okay, Lindsay says she's been working on wreaths, murals, flow painting, and tattoo drawings for people. Cool, Lindsay. What's some tattoos you've drawn lately? I just got a new one. Let me see. Can y'all see? It's a crown, and it says Revelation 2:10. My dog is being nosy back there. Hey, Finn. He wants in the picture. I love my tattoo. That was our last Facebook Live at the tattoo studio. Okay, so now we've done this. I'm going to put this to the side because I'm going to save that for something else here in a minute. So, Lizzie, what's your favorite tattoo you've ever drawn? Okay, sorry, lemonade. All right. Now's the really cool part. We're about to light fire. Hold on. All right. Ooh, an owl with multiple things hidden in it. Ooh, Lenny. Hey, Lenny. My honey's on. I would like to see that, Lindsay. That would be cool. I actually, Lindsay, need something else with this. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. Lenny thinks I should get wings and around it. And I thought about some swirls. And I haven't decided yet. So, yeah, Lindsay, she drew a flying ace Snoopy on her upper arm, which is really cool. All right, ladies, this is a, obviously a blowtorch. My father-in-law, my sweet father-in-law brought me to use for this project. So I've never before in my life lit a blowtorch until today. So I had to YouTube it, which is where you learn everything nowadays, right? YouTube and Google. They do make blowtorches that self-ignite, like the little kitchen ones. I want to get one of those. They're probably, they probably are a little bit handier for what we're doing, but this one's gonna work. I will tell you some do's and don'ts. Never put your blowtorch, like you don't want to put it directly on your paint, okay? Because obviously that's gonna burn it. That's gonna like heat your paint, and it's gonna start boiling, and it's gonna do wicked things, but not in the good way, right? Okay, so you want to hold your blowtorch. You'll kind of cradle it like that and just get the heat like directly above it, above your canvas. And you just want to constantly move the blowtorch back and forth. You don't want to leave it on one spot because that'll do the same effect to boil it, and it'll be yucky. So you just want to get right above the paint and go back and forth, and you can see the effect that you're looking for. Those cells will start popping, okay? So we're gonna do this. Bear with me while I light this. Yay, we have fire. Okay, and this is really cool because it adjusts, so you can make your flame bigger or higher. We're gonna kind of go in the middle, okay? And again, ladies, this is the first time I've ever done this. So thank y'all for being brave enough to watch me jump off a cliff, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit more. All right, and we're just going to maybe down a little bit. I'm a little nervous, y'all bear with me. All right, we're just going to kind of, and you can see, you can kind of see them see it popping. And I saw one article, I don't know if my flame is not big enough. Okay. You can kind of, you can kind of see it. I'm trying to move, I have to stand over here. And just kind of see those cells really popping as I go. This is really cool. Oh my goodness. You see all the little patterns going. If y'all are commenting, I can't comment. I mean, I can't read your comments and blowtorch at the same time. But I will tell you, I may be in love because this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. I missed one little corner right there, but you know what? This is my experiment, so it's going to be okay. All right, I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. I just think it doesn't need any more. I'm going to stop. Do I get a hand clap for not burning down the house? I know my honey will be excited. Lindsay, you haven't used your blowtorch yet? Y'all, look at that. I don't know if you can really, can y'all see it? Let me try to tilt the camera down. Before, we just had the swirls, the lines, and then when I put the heat to it, it got all those little spots, all those little cells started popping up. That is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I haven't decided yet what I want to do with it, but I'm thinking that I'm going to let this dry, and I may come back with a darker color, maybe the orange, since there's not a lot of the orange in here, and I may paint Grateful on it or something just to put on the mantle for as part of the fall decorations. So Jana, I can't wait for you to try it out either, and Lindsay, I want to see your blowtorch product too. And again, I've also read hair dryer. You may want to try your hair dryer if it has the warm setting. You also, I used to use, years ago, we did, it's not a soldering gun, it's like a heat gun. You can get those as well. So I think anything that'll provide some heat will do the trick. But that's really cool. I'm kind of scared to move it. I think it's set enough that I can move it because I want to get this piece of wood in here to try to do it as well. But we're going to have to mix a little bit more paint. Let me move my blank canvas out of the way before I get paint on it. This is so much fun. I'm not sure how we ended up on this, but whoever suggested it, thank you. Okay, I'm moving that over there. I guess I need to thank my friend Kim because she was the one that started doing it, and we were all like, we want to try that. Let's see. Jana's, I'm going to try to read a couple comments. Bear with me before we get, because I do want to talk to you ladies. Thank you. I think it's kind of cool too. Well, I will tell you, Jana, thank you for thinking I'm brave, sweet sister. It's only by the grace of God, because I will tell you this, ladies, because I told my husband this morning. I said, because this was my husband. He is my biggest champion. I love him so much. He always cheers me on. No matter what I say, hey, I want to try this. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, you can do it no matter what it is. So I, you know, talked to you ladies about doing this flow painting, which I've, like I said, never really done. I've never used a blowtorch. And this morning, my husband, my sweet husband, was like, don't you think you ought to do at least one before you get on Facebook Live? And I'm like, well, I kind of said that we would learn it together, so I feel like I'm cheating if I do one. And he's like, you probably should do one. So I said to myself, you know what, you need to go ahead and try one just so you kind of know what, you know the steps at least. But then this morning, honestly, I ran out of time. And I told my sweet husband, I was talking to him on the phone after dropping off the kids. And I said, you know what? How do you light that blowtorch? Like, I had no idea. We were supposed to get together. He was supposed to show me how to light the blowtorch. I had no idea. I learned how to do it on YouTube this morning. And I had been researching flow painting. I ran out of time. I did not get to do a practice one, right? So, I just was talking to him this morning. I said, you know what? It's a big hard, scary thing, but I'm just going to dive in and I'm going to do it because that's where the fruit is. You know, if you go, you know, you want to go out on the limb because that's where the fruit is. And so that's what we did today. We just dove in. Like I said, I jumped off the cliff. So here I am. So yeah, I went outside, Jana, to Y'all pardon me, I'm gonna move this just a hair. I went outside. This is a funny story. But anyway, my point is, don't be afraid to do the big, hard, scary things, because that's how you grow. And so I was convinced as well, Jana, that I had to do it outside. So I went outside on the front sidewalk. I didn't dare do it on the porch, because I thought, oh, because you know there's this big thing on here that says danger, extremely flammable, explosion hazard, and I thought, oh my God, it's gonna explode. So I went outside, not on the porch, but on the sidewalk outside the front of our house, and I watched the video on how to light it, and I thought, I got this, right? Because I gave birth, right? I can do anything. So I'm out there trying to light it, and I could hear the noise, but I couldn't see the flame. And I thought, okay, this is not right, and I don't want to keep the gas on because I could die, right? So I text my sweet husband, and I said, it's not working. What do I do? I'm going to have to drive to town and get I promised these people a blowtorch, yada, yada, yada. So long story short, my husband says, well, it should do this. It should do this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh. So sure enough, I brought it up on the porch where the light was a little, dimmer, instead of being out in the full sun. And so I could see the little flame at that point. And I was like, you're such a goober. So then I realized the little knob, it's not just an on and off knob, it is adjustable. So I was like, you know what? God's got me, and I got this. So I was like, you can do this. So I lit the blowtorch in the house, and so that is how it came to be. So just FYI, because, anyway. All right, so this block of wood, it's probably about 5 by 5. Last year I made a bunch of pumpkins. I call these chunky pumpkins, and it had a cute little stem on it, which I took off for this purpose. I didn't get all the glue off, but you know what, that's okay. Because I thought, how cool would it be to drop some paint on this and make a really cool pumpkin. So that's what we're about to do. So I still have, just gonna do a new one. We're gonna do this one real quick, but anyway, I appreciate the fact that, like I said, my husband is my champion, and you all are my champions, because, if it wouldn't have been for y'all saying, yeah, we want to figure out how to flow paint, I probably would have never tried this. And I think it's going to be really something cool to use in my sign making as well. I think we're going to go with orange first, because I really think once that, once it dries, it's going to be a really cool backdrop for some signs. All right, we're going to try to do a little bit of green. Plus, I really just wanted to kind of see what it would do on the wood. Yeah, this green I thinned out way too much. But it's nice to have people in your corner, I tell you what. And if you don't have people in your corner, then you maybe need to find some new people. Do you know what I'm saying? And sometimes the people that discourage you live in your own household. And in that case, can I please just suggest that you join communities like this, whether it be my community or another like-minded, whatever you're doing, whatever craft you're doing, do you know what I'm saying? Get around people, especially if you're trying to do it as a business. Get around people that are like-minded, that are going to encourage you and grow you in the Lord, and that's important. If you all just, I'm close to a lot of you that are on here. You're my friends in real life, not just on Facebook. But if you really, really knew me, I'm really shy. I know that's very hard to believe, but I'm truly really shy. This, you know, me being on Facebook Live is, I am really pushing myself to get out there and try new things and grow, obviously grow our business, Ellie Grace's Attic, and just to have a platform to be able to empower creative or empower women in general to just go for it in life and to be a better version of themselves, and you know, to craft and be creative and use those God-given talents that He has blessed you with. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to flip on this, so honestly, I think I'm just gonna pour it. So we're gonna see what happens. Okay, we're just gonna pour. Let's just go for it. I will say this, if you're gonna do this, make sure you got plenty of time and, you know, just embrace the messiness. Oh, I see Lynn is on. Lynn, this would be a wonderful craft for you, sister. Lynn is my shy crafter. She says she can't craft. She doesn't have a crafty bone in her body. But I beg to differ, Lynn. And this is something I think that's really easy for beginners. I mean, look how beautiful that is. And okay, I said I love the sign, but I might love this pumpkin more. I don't know if y'all can see what it's doing. It's doing that like on every side. It's just kind of dripping on down. I think I'm in love with this even more. All right. Just gonna kind of let it drip, and then we're gonna light the blowtorch and go for it. Let me just show you. Let me see if I can adjust the camera. Bear with me. Y'all are wonderful, by the way, for just hanging in there with me. I'm going to try to adjust this so you can see me light this blowtorch. Because I'm a pro now, right? Okay, don't look at my mess behind me. That's all my projects, other projects I have going on. So the safest way to do it is with one of these. If it's the, thanks, Miss Lynn. Obviously, if you have one that self-ignites, you just light that sucker. I think you press a button. There's a safety valve thing. This is just inexpensive. It's Burns-O-Matic. You can get it at Lowe's or any hardware store. It has the adjustable, this little thing turns it on and off and adjusts the flame. But for this type of blowtorch, really simple. You just kind of take your lighter or whatever your means of fire is. You light it just right underneath it, and you just turn the blowtorch, and you'll see that little flame the little flame popped up in there, and then you just turn it up. You can turn it down and kind of adjust it to where you want to be. Very simple. I promise it's not as scary as you think it is. And I will tell you why I was scared to death at first. Even though I know God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but I'll tell you what will give you a spirit of fear is if you grew up in the late in the 70s and 80s like me, and you've ever had a gas stove, especially a gas stove that ran off of a propane tank, then you understand what it means to have a pilot light in your stove that goes out. And having to light that pilot light was like the scariest thing ever. Because when it finally does catch, the flames go whoosh. And, yeah. Where's Finn? Where'd he go? Finn! Finn! He's nosy. Come see. Miss Tanya wants to say hi. There's my puppy. He's always at everything. Okay, now I'm going to try to see if I can tilt this back. There we go, there we go. All right, it almost looks like a cake, doesn't it? So now we're just gonna put the heat on that. Again, we're just doing it kind of parallel to the pumpkin. We're not really putting it head on because that'll burn it. It's very tempting to want to do it, you know, like just put the fire right to it, but let me move this plastic cup out of the way so I'm not melting anything. Now the tricky part is going to be, where am I going to put this? I guess I can just leave it on the trash bag because I have a cat. We have a cat in the house, so. Okay, I'm wondering, I'm going to try to do it just gently down the sides, like so. Oh my goodness, y'all. It's doing really cool things on the side. I'm going to try to turn it where you can see. By the way, it doesn't smell the greatest. There's kind of an odor happening, but it's still kind of dripping, but it's doing the cells as well. So it's really cool because they're just popping up as I go, and they're still kind of dripping. So can you see this side? Can y'all see the cells on there, how they kind of popped open, but it's still dripping, so it's really cool. So this is a fun little thing. I'm pretty excited when I get this finished and get the ribbon and the stem on it. I'll show y'all. I'll take a picture and post it for you. I'm gonna come back. Oh, I'm smoking a little bit. I must have got a piece of the wood. And that's why I'm in this container, because underneath this plastic is a barnwood table my husband built me. But so I highly recommend the disposable pan. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. I'm gonna turn off the fire all the way off, and make sure when you're turning off your fire, you kind of give it a good extra turn once you get to the end, just to make sure that it's off. Okay, I'm gonna call that done. What do y'all think about that? Pilot lights are terrifying. Yes, ma'am, I agree, Miss Jana. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Like, it didn't go over that corner, but you know what? That's totally okay, because I really got the effect I was looking for, which was really this, just kind of that drippy wax, I don't know, funky look. So it's really neat. I think it's gonna make a unique pumpkin for the fall season, for the fall display, which is what I wanted to do this for. So we have this and we have that, and when I finish both of them, I'll come back and post it. Y'all's, like I said, if y'all are doing any projects with flow painting, or any projects that you're working on, I'm gonna try to lift you up just a little. Thank y'all for being patient with me. Thank you, Miss Jana. I feel like, my halo's shining. Let me scooch over here. Let me scooch over here out of the light. Anyways, okay. So if y'all are working on flow painting or whatever projects you're working on, come back and post them in the comments so everybody can see. We would love to you know, that's what this is all about, sharing with each other, sharing ideas, getting tips from one another, and growing as creatives, whether it's for business or just for fun. So I'm excited to see what you ladies are working on this week. I didn't get to the straw. Don't hate me. Maybe we'll do this another time, but yeah. The straw, the video that I saw, just FYI, they did like the canvas, and then what the person did was they just took the bottle of paint. They didn't mix it in a cup or anything. They just took the paint and they poured a little bit of the paint right in the middle of the canvas. They did like white, and then they did like a different color, and then they just took the straw and they actually made a flower. It was really cool. They blew the paint, like blew out, and they kind of did that movement too, just and blew it out and did it several times and like made a flower. So you could do really Lynn, you make me laugh. Lynn Harper says, I have an amazing Pinterest board. That's about all the crafty I'm doing right now. All right, Lindsay, between me and you, we have to get Lynn Harper. I want video evidence of Lynn Harper doing a craft, because I know she can do it. But you know what? I will tell you something that I cannot do. There's a lot of things I can't do, but I cannot grow plants. Can't do it. I love flowers. I love them. I love them. I love them. But I have the worst time trying to grow flowers. There are some hardy things that I can grow, you know, the ones that say full sun and little water. I can grow those. But I always have these big dreams every summer of and spring of doing flowers and keeping them alive. My ferns, I can't even keep my ferns alive over the winter. It's terrible. So every year my sweet husband gives me $20 to go get 2 ferns because he loves me, because I cannot keep them alive. I keep humans alive. I have 6 children. I have 6 grandchildren. They're all still kicking. Some of them I was more directly involved with than others because, you know, we're a blended family, but my kids are still alive. My fur babies are alive, but I cannot keep a plant alive. It just, yeah, it doesn't happen. So see, we all have different gifts, Miss Lynn, but if you enjoy crafts, then you should try one. And we would love to be a part of helping you do that. Plus, sometimes it's not really about the craft. It's just about like hanging out with some friends and eating snacks and playing, you know, playing with crafty stuff. So sometimes that's all it really is about. So anyways, I didn't do the straw, but I did the blowtorch, and I feel like that's a success. I feel like we succeeded here today. So I am going to progress. I actually have another project coming up that I have to paint, and I'm going to try the flow painting as the background for those paintings as well. I'm super excited about that. Any questions about what we did today, or any craft questions for in the future? Anything new that you'd like to see on Facebook Live? Do y'all have anything? If not, we're going to go ahead and close because it is almost 2 o'clock. I can't believe we have been on here for an hour, but time flies when you're crafting and when you're having fun. So I appreciate you, ladies and guys. I think we had a couple guys on here. I thank y'all for hanging out with me. Give us ideas, like I said, for future Facebook Lives, because we value your opinions. Give us a review, share us if you liked what you saw, and obviously like us or love us. We'll take love. So anyway, you all have a great afternoon. I can't wait to get back together with you on our next Facebook Live. I'm sure it'll be something fun and adventurous, because why not? Happy crafting.